It's your girl Jayy Marie, and we are back with another episode of NFO Cyphers, episode 14. And I got with me, right next to me, the one and the only Kipp Stone. How you feeling today?
I'm all right. Just got off the Greyhound. I'm like a 8.5.
Why not a 10?
Because I just got off the Greyhound and I'm tired.
Oh my gosh. See,
I've only been off the bus for like an hour.
The Greyhound don't do it to you though, especially with other people and other energy. Crazy. Where are you coming from?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. So are you based in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your sound. I feel like you have a unique sound, but it's like very like hip hop purist. Like, how did you develop that sound, or like what inspires you to even go the direction of hip hop?
It's like I feel like it's low key a stigma for like to make like some like pure hip hop, that it got to be like super serious or stale or boring, or you got to rap a certain way or act a certain way. But I don't know. I always wanted to take that and kind of make it a little bit more fun to listen to, like a little bit more like entertaining, so to speak. And plus, like being from the Midwest and shit, like that soul is all like the soul is always gonna bleed through it. So that was always my thing.
So let me ask you something. At what point in time did you know you had a way with words? Because like one thing I noticed about you, you're just like wordplay is so like, I don't know how to explain it, but I love it. I love the wordplay. At what point in your journey of becoming an artist did you know that you had the words?
Like I tell everybody, when I first started, I hated everything I ever made. I thought my music was shitty as fuck.
You thought it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it just wasn't it. Like I always knew I could do better.
Okay.
So I didn't really realize that I was nice until probably like 2015. But I had been making music for way longer than that.
Okay.
So up until that point, I had just put out a whole bunch of bullshit that I didn't like.
How many years was it between the time that you started to the time that you realized that you were nice?
Probably like 7 or 8 years.
Wow. So repetitive, consistent practice. What was that like? Because like, was it like you reading books to figure out how to like mesh your your sound and your flow and like what you wanted to talk about? Like, what was it that helped you spark that creativity?
I mean, around that time when I, started to develop more, I was reading a lot.
Okay.
But I noticed that like when a lot of rappers, like no shade to nobody, but like sometimes they read like self-help books or like a adult book like Mastery or the 48 Laws of Power, all that kind of shit, and then they like kind of just read it and just spit it back out. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to take what I learned from stuff that I read and just like everyday life and kind of put my own spin on it.
Yeah, put it into practice. What were some of the books that you read?
Mastery was probably like one of the best ones. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. The People of the Lie, Road Less Traveled, Denial of Death. It's been a lot.
Okay, so even with that, so then you figure it out. What was that defining moment in 2015 for you?
Like in how I decided, like how
you knew you were nice, like all that practice and all that reading and everything that you put into it. What moment was that for you?
The first time that I ever listened to a song and actually liked it.
But okay, so here's the thing though. As a creative, we're so judgmental on our own work, right? Were other people telling you were ass, or was it just something that you felt?
Everybody told me I was good, and I was like, y'all lying.
So do you feel like maybe you just didn't see your potential?
I knew I had potential to be nice, but I just knew it wasn't happening then. So like I appreciate everybody, like, and I do believe that people genuinely like the music, because I would make songs that wasn't necessarily it, and people would tell me like, yeah, nah, not this one. So I believe that people believe that I was nice. I just didn't believe it myself, and I was okay with that.
And pushing yourself though is one thing, because it's like if you don't have, I think like there is this like, it's easy to push yourself when everyone's telling you it's shit, because then you have like a way to like, it gives you like that adrenaline to be like, nah, I'm gonna prove y'all wrong. how do you prove yourself wrong though? What did you tell yourself in those moments? Because that's a different type of like mental strength to push your own self after, you know, people are telling you like you're good, no, you're nice, and then you're like, nah, I could do better.
Cause people will tell you not necessarily. I mean, maybe what you need to hear, but I think it's like a certain like wisdom in security. Like you gotta like. If I feel like I'm my first like edit, you know, my first proofread. Like so, if it don't be my standards, like you can like it, but if it's not there for me, then
It's
you know
not that.
I'm not. So like I just feel like being insecure in that sense like kind of helped me because it eventually like I kind of just tipped and it got to the point where I like what I was putting out and people like what I was putting out. So.
Then how does the momentum keep going after that? Did you have those moments again where you were feeling like, damn, this is ass? Or was it just like from that point on you were on a roll?
No, I was cracking after that. I mean, obviously you make stuff that's not quite up to par, but you know, I record pretty much all my stuff by myself. Like I don't like a whole bunch of people in the studio with me. I don't all that. Like when I write and record, I do it all by myself. So and I'm really hard on myself. So I don't even send stuff to people unless I feel like I like it or it has potential. So
let's talk about Hibiscus Lavender. I really like that song, and it sounds like after now with actually speaking to you, like there's this introspectiveness about yourself. Like you're very much self-aware. Was that something that you always like were, or is that something that you kind of just developed with doing music?
I kind of always been like that, but again, when I started reading, it was I don't know how much time we got, so I'm gonna give you like a short story.
Okay.
So something happened at a party. It was like this girl that I was trying to talk to or whatever, and like her ex-boyfriend came into the party, and he was like. I don't know. He was just like kind of being weird and shit like that. And in my head, I created a problem with him. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I don't fuck with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just created a beef with him in my head.
Wow.
And like so when he like approached me to talk to me, like, and he was being nice.
You was mean? Were you mean, Muggy?
Yeah, I was being mean. I was like, fuck you. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, something happened and I ended up by myself. Like I think I stepped out for a second and I went and I got in my head and I was thinking, I'm like, damn, you low-key you just like her, so, and he's like in the way of that, so you like low-key being a hating ass nigga for it. And then so I had to check myself right then and there, and then like I kind of turned myself around, I went back in the party, and then when he approached me again, we chopped it up, and he was cool as fuck. And so I learned that in real time, like you low-key just being a hater for real, like, and that shit is ugly.
Do you still have moments like that? Do you still have moments like that?
It happens to everybody, but I just don't think most people would say like I was hating or I was on some sucker shit.
Right. With your creative process, you know, you being so like I don't want to use the word judgmental, but critical of yourself. How do you know when something is done?
I don't know, cause I don't really tweak music a lot.
Okay.
So I kind of like try to get everything. I try to knock everything out right then and there, and every now and again I'll tweak some stuff. But for the most part, it's done after I'm done recording.
So is it like a matter of if you don't like, because you know some people they may go in and make a song, and they feel like I don't like that, but I like this. Is it all or nothing for you? So if you hear something, it's like you gotta either all the way love it or you.
Yep, right then and there. Right then and
wow.
there. If I don't like it, right then.
You just trash the song completely.
Yep, I delete that shit. And like it never happened. I don't even save tracks for real. Like if I didn't like it, I just delete it and I just never revisit.
Oh, that's crazy. Can you imagine doing all of that work? I know, but you know what? I feel like no, it's different for me because I'm also a writer, and so I feel like with me being a writer, I'll go back and read something like, all right, I need to change this, and this. But I won't just completely trash what I got going on.
I'll toss it.
Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. That is a very different creative process. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
You just recently dropped a song with, let me get the other, Spectacular Diagnostics.
Yes.
Let's talk about the process of partnering with, is it a group or is it just you?
Producer.
As a producer. Okay, so it's just you. Okay. Heard the song, but I was.
No,
Let's talk about the new track.
that honestly, and no disrespect to him, out now. Please go listen to it. That was a really long time ago. Like
Wow.
we recorded it a while ago, but I mean it was dope. It was like one of my favorite verses that I did, like feature wise, and you know I appreciate them. Like you know most times people is like in situations like that they just send a gang of beats over or something like that, and then you just you know. Hop
So
on
was
with
it
stuff.
the other person that took too long to release it? Was it you?
No, I think it's part of a project, so I think he was
Gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, gotcha.
This is like the first part of the first single.
Gotcha. So with you being from Cleveland, how did being from Cleveland or coming from Cleveland shape the person that you are? Do you feel like it had an influence, or do you feel like just the Midwest in general?
More so the Midwest, because I mean, you know, you got your environment where you grew up at and all that kind of stuff, but it's also the music you listen to. And most of the stuff that I gravitated towards was like soulful kind of music and stuff, you know, like Dilla, Kanye, Big Jenkins, Saba, like Chance,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, like Cuddy, Bone, all that kind of stuff. Like, so it's the environment and then it's the music. But then when it kind of sync up and start to match, you know what I'm saying, and you realize like how much your like surroundings influence your music and stuff like that.
Even your sound or your, you as a person, but also your sound and your music. All right. So I'm gonna give you I gave Chairman Allen his Mount Rushmore, but we're gonna do yours. Midwest hip hop Mount Rushmore.
Midwest hip hop Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Mick Jenkins.
Okay.
I honestly think Mick Jenkins is like probably one of, if not the best rapper like ever.
Why?
Cause he just cold. I don't. It's certain people you listen to and you just hear their music and it's just like, how did you do that? How did you come up with that? Just so there's that. Definitely him. Definitely Saba. Cuddy. And I mean, I'm arrogant enough to throw myself in there.
You know what? I like that. You gotta throw yourself in there, especially if you're putting in the work. Like you're repeatedly putting in the work of like perfecting your craft, perfecting your creativity. You gotta push yourself. I feel that. So how, we are Chicago based. How has Chicago and the community in Chicago helped push forward your career? What do you feel like Chicago has given to you in that aspect?
I think when I first signed to Closed Sessions, that was not my first time being out of town, but also my first time being out of town. So just seeing, Closed Sessions and them taking me around the city and showing me everything and then going back to the studio and stuff like that, it was I don't know, it's kind of like a culture shock for real.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the difference between where you're from versus here? What was the culture shock for you?
Chicago feels like, to me, Chicago feels like a bigger version of Cleveland.
Okay.
That's
right.
That's just how I
Yeah.
feel. You know what I'm saying? We got the food, you got the sports, you got the, you know what I'm saying, all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Chicago I always just felt comfortable here. I always felt like at home here.
Second home. Okay. All right. Well, Chicago, once we are locked in with an artist, once we love an artist, once we, connect on a different, that frequency, once you hit that Chicago frequency, you locked in for life. So what's next for you?
Working on some stuff. I'm in between projects.
Okay.
And so a lot of times if I don't feel compelled to make another project, I just do some living and, try to figure it out. But I always got something ready just in case, you know what I'm saying? Just in case I gotta, feed the streets. But right now, just kind of putting it together in my head.
Because I know for me, when it comes to my creative process of writing, I'm more of I have to be inspired, and that's when I get my best work is out there. I can't just put something out there. Is that with you being in between that process, how do you continue, like how do you find your inspiration, or like even if it's just an idea, you might not actually write the song down, is that like how do you, I guess, maintain your creativity and your inspiration when you're in between projects?
I was actually just talking to him about that outside. Like, I don't know. I've always felt like, and I always quote this. Like, I try to making a point to like quote this at least once a year. One of the most valuable lessons you will ever learn as an artist and as a person is when to shut the fuck up. And sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up. You know, like when I'm in between projects, I'm thinking about like the next album, because that's my shit. I just love making albums. So I had a whole concept for an album, and then I kind of just abandoned it.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't put it together how I wanted to. And that's how it usually starts. Like, it starts with an idea, like how I want to construct it, or what I want to talk about, or what story I want to tell. But I couldn't really figure it out. So I had to jump out the car on that one.
What is that relationship like with you and the label then? Because, you know, labels are obviously, they acquire an artist to give their creativity, their work. How do you maintain that relationship with your label when you're not in this space of like, oh, I'm not ready to
I mean,
record, I'm not ready to, you know.
my managers is my friends too. Like, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, they signed me and blah, 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 but that turned into like an actual friendship and an actual understanding of me, like who I am as a person and as an artist. So it's never no pressure. And if ever there comes a time where it's like, all right, motherfucker, it's time to go, then, you know what I'm saying, they'll communicate that to me, and then no problem. Like, I'll lock in, and I'll try to get back on the, back in the swing of things.
Okay. That's just something that I like always, because I know like even with me with writing, sometimes there's that I'm just not there. I'm just not in that space. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that you're just not in the space of like creating. And there's nothing you could do to force yourself to be creative when you're not in that space.
Yeah, and my manager respects that, and that's why he has the leverage to be like, if I'm ever like slacking, or if I, you know what I'm saying, I need to get cracking on something, that he can be like, all right, come on, it's time to go. Because you respect me enough to give me the space and time to like, just shut up for a second.
Right.
And like, so like, I just feel like I owe him that, like if it ever came to it.
In that, how do you find your creativity then? How do you push yourself to find that?
I don't know, because I get writer's block a lot.
Me too. That's right.
And honestly, I could never tell you. It's just like, I'm either in it or I'm not. So I couldn't even tell you like when, like, oh shit, I'm writing now, I'm back. Like, it's just like, I just look up one day and like, damn, you got like 10 songs done. And I don't even know what that looks like, honestly.
Wow. All right. Well, I think we're done here. You did your mouth Rushmore. That was something that I really wanted to do with you guys. And then so you're in between projects right now, but something coming. Let's hope you don't scrap it though.
No, I got the actual solid stuff right.
Okay.
I'm
all
good.
right.
We good.
So it's coming, and he promised the suspense. He's not gonna scrap nothing.
I won't.
All right. I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. I can't wait to put it out.